Ciao, ciao. Today, I wanted to sit down and have a little chat. To start with, let's go into writing prompts. If you're a writer out there, I know that some days you just sit down and nothing comes out, or what to talk about next. Maybe you've run out of topic ideas. For me, one thing that I have found helps me every single time, and I mentioned this briefly in my last video, it's writing down daily thoughts. So having a mess journal, a junk journal, where you don't feel compelled to make it perfect or look aesthetic. It's purely scribbles, junk, illegible, and legible things meshed together. And what you do is you write a couple of different topics that spring to mind, make it like a stream of consciousness, write it down onto the page and call it your daily thoughts page. Then what you can do if you're writing a, say, non-fiction project, usually the ideas that you think of will be related to your writing project. So if you have something in mind, or if you're looking for the start of something, use that to lead that project and carry it along, because every day you write your daily thoughts, you get ahead in what kind of topics you're going to cover. And it can just really help speed up the whole process. So as I mentioned, stream of consciousness, that alone as well is a great form of just practicing your writing daily. You should be finding an excuse to write every single day. It doesn't matter if it's a paragraph or a few sentences, just commit to the craft if this is something that you want to do. This is something that I definitely got into after my break of writing, which was a very long break. I committed myself to writing something every day. It doesn't matter if it's in my journal, on the typewriter, in one of my projects, it just has to happen. Every single day, that's the commitment, that is the standard. And also read a lot and explore all the different forms of writing, explore all the different topics, all the different stories, all the different stimuli. Just take it all in, because, you know, half of it is doing the writing yourself. The other half, which is just as important, is taking in what's around you and just being knowledgeable. Those are my simple writing prompts. Every single time you feel like it's a day where you can't sit down and write, oh, I've got nothing in my head, just sit down. Sit down in front of your project, in front of the paper, and just see what comes out, because you'd be surprised. Some of the best writing sessions I've had have started from me feeling like there was nothing to write that day, and all of a sudden I sat down. May have taken a bit, but sometimes you just write about nothing, you jumble some words together and you start a stream of consciousness, and next thing you know, you're in a flow state. So you can initiate that flow state at any time. It's not about hoping that the flow state will come. You are yourself the flow state that you're seeking. To use the Neville Goddard analogy, I suppose, you are what it is that you're seeking. So if you're seeking a really great writing session, be that. Set the stage for that yourself. You have all the tools that you need. You've been in a flow state before. You've written projects before. You've finished things before. So do it again. Recently I did a little scripting session. So I basically wrote down the things that, I guess, my dream version of my life. And I wrote it in I am format, as if it's already here. I meditate on this often. I'm a very visual person, so you know I have a Pinterest board for quite literally everything. And so, yeah, I tried the writing technique. I've been reading this page before I go to bed and in the morning when I wake up, because those are our very, very susceptible hours. Just before you go to bed and this, as soon as you wake up, are the perfect windows of time where you can get into contact with your subconscious and start influencing and shifting your self-perception, and in turn shifting your reality, I suppose. A lot of research shows that your moments before bed really dictate the next day. So you can get up and have a really mindful morning and reset some of the stuff that you did the night before. Maybe you're watching stuff that, you know, is not that great for your self-esteem, or maybe it's made you feel afraid or in just a weird state. That lingers onwards and it can be really hard to shake. So that's why it's a great time to be intuitive. It's a great time to write as well. because you really are in touch with that subconscious part of your brain. So therefore, a lot of ideas come out that otherwise just, I don't know, there's not so much of an opportunity for them to come out as easily or as authentically. So use those windows of time to write. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's the best time ever. My collection of writing grew exponentially when I started writing in those windows of time. That's what I found personally. Give it a go. If it works for you, amazing. And so in that, I have been starting my day with a prompt. And I came upon this morning when I've just been following this kind of mentality and shift for a few weeks now, just building on it slowly and really becoming more of a student again to life. I think we should always be in that state, and I've just kind of leaned into it a little bit more and taken on some heavier material. I was up this morning, I woke up and I knew what I had to do today. I had to work, I had a few things to check off my list. But then I thought, okay, I'm thinking about how I can bring to action this scripting that I've done, because it's not hocus pocus magic. It's about influencing your subconscious to facilitate your mind, your body, your spirit to work together to bring you closer to what you're seeking, what you're trying to attain. And that comes through habits, through actions, through productivity. It's not just going to fall in your lap if you're not actually putting to action the things that you are trying to pursue or saying that you already are, which is what you should be doing, saying that you already have it. But that stuff is null and void if you're just simply listening to all these things and not putting to action anything that you're learning. So what I did was I wrote down a prompt in my journal. I said, what would Ashley the da-da-da-da-da do today? What would she do? What kind of environment would she live in? And I said, okay, well, she would want to work in a space that's really tidy and really fresh, and she would have done all the chores that she was putting off. She wouldn't put off chores. She would live in this type of environment. She would create at this time. She would move her body. She would create a space that is her version of comfortable, to be able to create and to push herself. So that influenced my day, and I found myself moving through the day in a completely different energy. And there was this new vigor, this new force, this new confidence, this new self-assured mentality that crept in completely naturally when I decided that that was how I was going to lead the day. The day wasn't going to lead me, I was going to lead the day. You know what I mean? So yeah, I took control, I cleaned the space, I did all the chores that I was putting off. I really embodied that person that is in my mind that I'm saying I am. I'm putting to action so that the actions replicate that, they reflect that, as internally, so externally. So I made my external world replicate what I'm saying I am inside. And that really helped. I felt confident. I felt I was moving with a purpose. I wasn't just doing things lazily. If I was going to commit to an activity, I was going to do it to the fullest extent, because that's what my dream version of myself would do. I've decided I'm going to use that as my daily prompt and see how things go, because if this is just the first day of using that prompt, I don't even know what's going to happen in the next 30 days. So this is day one for me. If you're seeing this today as well, this can be day one for you, or whenever you're watching this can be your day one. We can go on this journey together for 30 days and let's see what happens. Starting off by making your script, write down a couple of things, make it very specific, keep it brief, keep it short, keep it very specific, and yeah, read it morning and night. Meditate often, meditate in those windows, visualize, feel that you are, be in that I am mentality. I highly recommend listening to some of Neville Goddard's audiobooks. They've been a good just prompt for how to go about things, and it's just good knowledge. I've been listening to multiple things, and I don't know, his perspective is quite interesting, and I feel like it aligns pretty well with some of the things that I've already been doing. And yeah, I don't know, I've just been taking little pieces of information from all over the place and seeing what resonates, seeing what fits into my own little puzzle, into my own little world, and I encourage you to do the same. I really believe that this type of action and mentality could potentially change your whole reality in the span of like 30 days if you're committed, if you are, you know, in this. So yeah, that was my brief little 2 cents for the day. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna love you and leave you. Have an amazing night, have an amazing day. I have to go because she's getting mad. All right, ciao. Mwah. I love you. Ti amo.